And as we were just saying, joining us now is Lynn Wood from Georgia. Lynn, we understand we just received some breaking news just moments ago that your lawsuit against the Georgia Secretary of State has now been docketed by the U.S. or with the U.S. Supreme Court. Can you explain to us a little bit more what that means and what this particular lawsuit involves?
Well, thank you for having me back on. The lawsuit was docketed today. I filed it 3 days ago on the 8th, but they have procedures they have to go through before they can officially docket a case. And at least preliminarily, it means that the petition met some of the essential requirements, such as page length, word count, jurisdiction. So we didn't get kicked out for a technical reason. So it's good news that it was docketed. It raises, in my case, the exact same issues with respect to the Georgia election that are asserted by the state of Texas in its litigation. But I filed my case just a few days after the election when I realized that for some reason the Republican Party was not acting, and I decided that on behalf of we the people, that an individual voter whose vote had been diluted and who had had equal protection violated between in-person votes and mail votes needed to take action. So I filed the lawsuit. We lost in the district court. Didn't agree with that decision. We lost in the 11th Circuit. I didn't agree with that decision. So I had to take the final step because I refused to give up on it because I think I'm right. And so I petitioned for the writ of certiorari to the Supreme Court. And I now can only hope that the justices will decide to take the case. And if they do, I believe they'll follow the law and they'll rule that the Georgia election was unlawful and unconstitutional because it was based on a deal cut by the Secretary of State with the Democratic Party that was not adopted by the legislature. That renders it unlawful and unconstitutional.
And then what would you want the relief or remedy to be?
Well, I believe that if it's unlawful, that the Georgia legislature is going to have to now meet, as I've been trying to get the governor to do for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they'll have to decide what to do with an invalid or unlawful election. Depending on the time, I would like to think they have time to select electors that would vote for President Trump in the Electoral College. I also believe there's ample time for the Georgia legislature to set a new down-ballot election in January instead of this January 5th runoff that's based on an illegal election and is subject to fraud, that they'll have time to set a new down-ballot election in Georgia so that we can get an honest vote and have a person running or elected that has not been elected or lost on November the 3rd based on fraud in an unlawful election.
And specifically, Lynn, you believe, just to summarize it for everyone, you believe that the Georgia Secretary of State there, Raffensperger, overstepped his authority, specifically when it comes to the different safeguards and new safeguards when it comes to the absentee ballots and the signatures, correct?
That's absolutely right. The Secretary of State does not have the authority to change the rules of a federal election held in a state. It has to be done by the legislature. And what he did was he set up a mechanism where I had to go through a more stringent verification of my vote than the people who were voting by mail under his unlawful procedure. That's the violation of equal protection.
Yeah.
The net effect is my vote gets diluted. If I had to vote again in January the 5th in another unlawful election, it would get diluted again.
Yeah,
so I'm hopeful the Supreme Court will take the case.
We're running out of, when you say new down ballot election, we're running out of time. You mean all the other offices, another complete election like we had on November 3rd?
Absolutely. The whole November 3rd ballot was infected with fraud.
Okay, I certainly don't want to cut you off. We just literally are out of time to talk on this program.
That's okay.
Lynn Wood, thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.